I overheard my wife planning to cheat and gave her all the space she wanted. What would you do if you overheard your partner planning to cheat with a friend's help? Have you ever worked yourself to the bone for someone you loved, only to discover they were secretly planning to betray you the whole time? That was me. And when I tell you how I found out, you'll understand why I'll never look at working overtime for my marriage the same way again. I'm a 34M working in industrial equipment sales. Not glamorous, not flashy, but solid. Conveyor belts, barcode scanners, packaging machinery, the invisible systems that keep warehouses alive. Been with my company 8 years, climbed my way up to regional manager. I like to think my marriage was built on the same principles: steady, reliable, hardworking. My wife, Sarah, 31F, was a yoga instructor who freelanced as a graphic designer when the mood struck. She was vibrant, creative, and sometimes restless, but I thought our balance worked. We'd been married 3 years, together for 6. I met her on a trivia night at a brewery. She was the one on the opposite team who wiped the floor with me because I apparently know nothing about 2000s pop culture. Somehow, my embarrassment turned into flirtation, and flirtation turned into love. Fast forward, and we'd signed a prenup because I'd seen too many coworkers financially destroyed in divorces. Sarah surprised me by agreeing without a fight. Said it was fair, said it was smart. I thought, wow, here's someone practical and loyal, just like me. But life, as Reddit knows, loves a plot twist. Sarah's car had been giving her trouble for months. A 2019 model with a transmission that seemed to have a mind of its own. Not a catastrophic failure, but enough to keep her on edge every morning, wondering if today would be the day she called an Uber. She started dropping hints, subtle at first. Maybe it's time for something more reliable. Fair enough. I drove a company truck. Reliability wasn't a daily anxiety for me. 2 months ago, she escalated from hints to specifics. A certified pre-owned Subaru Outback, about $28,000. Doable, but not easy. We'd been hammering away at my student loans and the mortgage, so cash wasn't just sitting around. But I thought, she deserves it. She's been patient while I prioritized our financial future. I could pick up overtime, cover shifts, keep saying yes until the numbers added up. And so I did. 65 to 70-hour weeks, back-to-back weekends, evenings swallowed by service calls. The industrial equipment world never sleeps. When a packaging line goes down, it's thousands of dollars lost per hour. Every extra penny I stashed into what I privately called the car fund. Sarah seemed supportive. She'd smile and say she appreciated me working so hard, that she knew it was for both of us. Her best friend, Monica, often came by to keep her company while I worked late. Wine nights, Netflix marathons, laughter spilling from the living room. I thought, good, she won't be lonely. But loneliness wasn't the problem. Last Tuesday, fate decided to have a laugh at my expense. A planned emergency wrapped up early, just a dirty sensor, not the 3-hour disaster I expected. I got home at 7:30 p.m. instead of my usual 10. Voices in the kitchen, Sarah and Monica. I figured I'd slip in quietly, grab a beer, surprise them. That's when I froze. Monica, so, timing is everything. You need to make your move soon. Sarah, I know. I've been thinking about it more and more. With him working all these late nights, maybe this is the perfect chance. At first, I tried to rationalize. Maybe it was about a project. Maybe a surprise. My brain fought to keep the peace. But then came the words that burned themselves into my memory. Sarah, I'm worried about the financial side, though. But if it doesn't work out, I can always come back. He's too nice. He'd probably take me back. Monica, exactly. You deserve to explore your options. And if you need connections, I'll help with the logistics. Explore her options. Come back if it didn't work out. As if our marriage was some kind of test drive. I didn't barge in. I didn't scream. I set my beer down, walked out, and sat in my truck for 10 minutes that felt like 10 years. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might shake the steering wheel. Then I drove aimlessly around the city, headlights blurring into streaks, before finally coming home and pretending everything was normal. She asked about my day. I said it was fine. We went to bed, but nothing was fine. The next few days were surreal. Sarah started dropping lines like, "Do you think two people can love each other but still need to explore other connections?" Or, "Sometimes I wonder if we got married too young." We were 28 and 31 when we tied the knot. Young? Maybe not. But the script was familiar. the I Want to Cheat but Make It Sound Noble playlist. By Friday, she worked up the courage to make it official. She told me she loved me but wasn't sure she was in love anymore, that she needed space, that Monica had offered her place for a while, maybe even a little trip together to clear her head. I asked her outright, "Is there someone else?" Her eyes didn't flinch. "No, I'd never do that to you. I just need to find myself." What she didn't know was that I'd already contacted a divorce attorney the day before. Sunday, she packed some clothes, her laptop, a few books, hugged me at the door, said it wasn't the end, just a pause. Monday morning, I moved every dollar from our savings, including the $12,000 car fund, into an account under my name. Thanks to the prenup, all legal. Our joint checking I left alone, except for redirecting my paycheck. Tuesday, divorce papers were drawn. Clean, simple, irreconcilable differences. Wednesday, she texted, "Have you thought about us? Ready to talk?" I said yes. "Let's meet Thursday." She showed up with takeout, smiling nervously, ready to patch things up. She thought her trial separation had given her clarity. She started with, "Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I just needed perspective." That's when I handed her the papers. The shift in her face, hope to shock to rage, was almost cinematic. "What the hell is this?" I told her I knew, that I'd overheard her and Monica, that I wasn't her backup plan. She denied, of course, said I misunderstood, that it was out of context. But when she asked about accessing the car fund since she was starting over, the mask cracked. I told her the fund no longer existed. She called it financial abuse. I called it my overtime. Days later, she came back crying. Said Monica filled her head with doubts. Said she'd never actually done anything with Yoga Guy, though she admitted he'd been the plan. Life's short. Monica had whispered in her ear, "Don't settle without seeing what else is out there." Sarah swore she realized too late that I was the best thing in her life, that she was just scared. But here's the truth. She wasn't sorry about betraying me. She was sorry about losing. Friday morning, she appeared at my door at 6:30 a.m., pounding like she was summoning the dead. "I need to talk. For real this time." She confessed. Yes, she'd been thinking about other options. Yes, she'd been curious about Yoga Guy, but she swore nothing physical happened. I was just scared. Monica kept telling me I was settling. Her voice broke. "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Please don't throw this away." For a moment, seeing her crumble, I almost caved. Almost. But then I remembered. She hadn't been crying when she planned my replacement. She was crying because she lost her safety net. I told her I appreciated her honesty, but my mind was made up. That weekend, she tried another tactic, money. She called, claiming she couldn't live on yoga classes alone, that she needed support. I reminded her of the prenup, each responsible for their own expenses. She hung up on me, but she wasn't done. Monday morning, HR called me in. Someone had contacted them, hinting I was unstable due to a messy divorce. They had to check on me. My manager laughed it off, pointed to my numbers. Overtime had made me sharper than ever. It didn't take Sherlock Holmes to guess who made the call. Tuesday, she texted, "We need to meet." Logistics. Foolishly, I agreed. She arrived looking wrecked. Then came the bombshell. "I'm pregnant. This changes everything." I froze. But then my brain caught up. Timeline didn't fit. We hadn't been intimate for weeks. Too early for symptoms. Too early for certainty. I asked to confirm with a doctor. She refused. Said she needed time to process. By Friday, the truth slipped. She admitted she wasn't pregnant. She'd made it up, hoping it would pull me back. My silence must have been terrifying, because she kept confessing. Yes, Yoga Guy was real. Yes, they'd been talking for months. No, it wasn't innocent coffee. She had been planning more. Her tears soaked the porch step. I ruined everything. But I couldn't tell her she was wrong. She had. That weekend, Monica called. Said Sarah was in a dark place. That maybe I was being too harsh. Too harsh? I asked. She planned to blow up my life while keeping me as backup. Now she faces consequences. That's not harsh. That's fair. Monica went quiet. For the first time, I wondered if she realized how much poison she'd poured into her friend's ear. But the storm wasn't over. Because soon Sarah tried a new tactic, legal warfare. Motions claiming hidden assets. Calls to the mortgage company pretending to be me. Even Monica posing as a social worker asking neighbors questions about me. Desperation makes people creative, but it also makes them reckless. And me? I was no longer the overworked husband in the dark. I was ready for every move. By now, I'd seen Sarah try almost every card in the deck. Denial, tears, manipulation, fake pregnancy, financial warfare. Each time, her desperation grew, her excuses thinner. Neighbors told me Monica had even shown up pretending to be a social worker, fishing for dirt. HR had been called. My mortgage company had been harassed. And finally, one night, I came home to find the front door ajar, Sarah's keys left on the counter. It wasn't a burglary. It was a message: I can still get in. That was the night I changed the locks. That was the night I stopped feeling guilty. Monday morning, my lawyer called with mixed news. Sarah's motion for spousal support? Denied. The prenup held, but she'd filed for an extension, stalling the process. More fees. More delays. I almost laughed. Did she really think dragging this out would make me fold? What she didn't realize was that by now, every tactic only hardened me more. I wasn't the man who used to kill himself with overtime for her dreams. I wasn't her safety net. I was done. The judge, the lawyers, the paperwork, those became my weapons of calm. No shouting matches. No late-night begging. Just signatures, documentation, and the slow, cold march toward freedom. People ask me if I regret not confronting her sooner before calling the lawyer. Maybe. But then I remember that conversation in the kitchen, her voice saying she could always come back if things didn't work out. I was never her partner. I was her plan B. Now, she's the one calling friends, scrambling for money, burning bridges. And I'm sitting here with my own hard-earned overtime, my own house, my own peace of mind. The divorce isn't final yet, but it's inevitable. And as I watch Sarah fight shadows of her own making, I can't help but wonder,